Let's move on and say good morning to Hemang Jani, who's joining in for some fundamental ideas. Hemang, hi. Been a really tough market, right, last couple of days. Let me start actually with some of the bigger stocks that are in news today. HCL Tech, the numbers look okay, but the issue is with this guidance revision, only the lower end of the band has been increased, not the upper end. I don't know if that's going to weigh on the market sentiment. Commentary seems cautiously optimistic. How would you look at it?
Morning, Surbi. Thanks for having me. So yes, I think the numbers have by and large been in line, and more so the margin has been a bit of a positive surprise, and the outlook continues to look good. While we would have expected the guidance to be much better, it's been a bit lower than the general expectations. The interesting aspect about HCL Tech is that for past many quarters, they have done much better than its peers, namely Infosys and TCS. And now there is a bit of a parity between the valuations, between HCL Tech, Infosys, and to some extent TCS. And we do think that going forward, given the diversified portfolio of HCL Tech, it will deliver much better growth. So definitely, it should be a core allocation stock. And we do think that there is a case for 18 to 20% kind of an upside. It might pause a bit because the entire sector has done well over the past few days. But from a medium term to 12 months kind of a perspective, this would do much better than its peers.
Okay, all right. Hi, Hemang. Good morning and good to see you in. Hemang, I want to talk about market participants. And in that backdrop, what do you make of numbers? If you looked at Angel One or Anand Rathi, what do you make of them? And also BSE. Jefferies has come out with an interesting note. Everyone's talking about volumes falling, but they have highlighted that the premiums actually, which is the one that is related to revenue, that's fallen by less than expected. How do you play this theme?
So, Nigel, as far as Angel One is concerned, I think, a large part of their revenue is coming from the options or the derivative side. And which is why we've seen, a significant cut on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Now, they are facing two challenges. One is that the overall volumes have been on the lower side. Two, when the ticket size has been increased, the company will have to decide on its pricing strategy going forward. So I believe that Angel One as a theme has done very well over the last 2-3 years. But from here on, it would make sense to go with either PSC, which is relatively better placed, and despite the new F&O norms, if you look at the absolute growth, even in December, when the volumes were down, they did much better because their income is linked to the premium, and the premiums have been relatively better off. So I do think that, PSC surely, because on the one side, it's, gaining the market share on the weekly side, and its premium income is remaining strong, and their margins are improving because their cost is related to the exchange cost and not relating to the volume per se. So BSE surely is a better bet. Anand Rathi consistently has been delivering better results. I think if you look at last 4 to 5 quarters versus the guidance that they put out, they are doing much better. And their dependence on the brokerage income is much less. So I think that within the capital market theme, one will have to really figure out which are the pockets where you will continue to see a decent growth despite these new norms being in place.
Hemang, I wanted to ask about United Spirits. This alcohol theme seems to be finding momentum and seems to be finding favor with investors as well. Unfortunately for United Spirits, there's a change on the top, which could make the street a little bit nervous. What's your view on the stock, United Spirits?
I think operationally, Nigel, the company has done well, particularly on the premium and above category, where the volume growth is high single digits. Also, unlike UBL, where, in Andhra and few regions, there were some pricing related issues, United Spirits is relatively better off. And typically this second half tends to be much better for the spirit companies. So overall positive view on United Spirits. I don't think the management change per se is going to be that relevant, but the transition part is something that, the market will keep an eye for. Overall positive view there.
Overall positive view being maintained. By the way, any thoughts on IndusInd Bank, Hemang? There was that MSCI news flow yesterday, some $200 million worth of stock needs to be bought, but that's passive. I think Bernstein has got IndusInd in its portfolio. High was, I think, 1600, 1700, stocks at about 900. around levels now. Q3 won't be good, but it's corrected quite a bit. Any specific thoughts?
So Prashant, most of the negatives are already priced in. After last Q2, the stock is down almost about 22%. As far as their microfinance portfolio is concerned, I think they're trying to get rid of that, and that would surely be a positive. I do think that for those who are looking out for a bit high beta kind of a play, this would be one stock that I would be comfortable buying into because of better valuations, and now the worst seems to be behind. So yes, positive view there as well.
Positive view there as well. SW Solar, any thoughts, Hemang? It's one of those names which is cracked, and how? I think high was, I'm not sure. Let me just quickly take a look at this. So yeah, 828 was the high. Stock's at $400 now. After yesterday's 6.5% fall. Wow, it's up 10% this morning in the pre-open session. I'm not sure if there's any news flow, but that's a big pop coming through. Hemang, any thoughts?
So I would stay away from some of these solar and related theme, because I think there has been an overhype, and globally, if you see, things are not looking that encouraging. And here, despite the fall that we are talking about, the fact of the matter is that when you compare the valuations vis-a-vis their underlying performance, they are still looking quite stretched. So I would not, try to get into any of these names at this point. Let them settle down. Let's have more clarity about the growth, and then probably it would be good to kind of, enter into these names.